This might sound a bit surprising, but despite not being a huge fan of the 13th Doctor's run, I'm really looking forward to seeing Jodie Whittaker and Mandip Gill reprise their roles for Big Finish, which is mainly because a lot of the issues with the 13th Doctor's era is to do with how rushed and underdeveloped it felt, with lots of gaps missing, particularly in the supposed romance between the Doctor and Yaz. It feels like we're missing a lot, and that's prime Big Finish material, exploring content that was underutilized in their TV runs, much like what they did with the Sixth Doctor. Obviously, their Ninth Doctor stuff was a little underwhelming, but I think that's mostly down to the fact that his era was so tight, there was not much more for them to do, especially if it was set before he met Rose. So I really can't wait to see these new stories, and I appreciate the fact that the stories are being released individually rather than as part of a box set. It's not as cost effective, obviously, but I do think that does make it a lot easier to sort of pick and choose stories that tickle my fancy. And I'm hoping this gives Yaz more of an opportunity to become 13's definitive companion, which I think was the goal towards the end of her run, and also to flesh out the more likeable aspects of the 13th Doctor, or at the very least use her more negative traits in a more interesting way, so we at the very least can appreciate her era a lot more rather than just being so frustratingly mediocre. At least there's some opportunity to give some stories which really make us like these characters a lot more. But what do you hope to see from this run of audios from 13 and Yaz? Would you like to see Dan, Graham and Ryan return at some point? I'm glad it's just the two of them for the time being. Of all the characters, they kind of got overlooked, those two, so giving them the bulk of the time makes sense, at least initially. Mandip Gill and Jodie Whittaker do have a lot of chemistry, especially if you check out some of those behind the scenes challenge videos they did on the YouTube channel. So I really want to see that aspect fleshed out more. And it might be interesting to also maybe adapt some of the Lost stories. I know Series 13 had a couple of scripts that were scrapped because of the reformat, because of behind the scenes issues. Let me know what you think of this news in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.